Hello, everyone. I can see a few participants. As people start rolling in, I want to make sure that you guys are popping over in the chat section. So if you've never been on a Zoom webinar, make sure that you click the little chat, and that should open up where you can see everybody's comments and questions and things like that. I am Annie, but we will get into that with the introductions once I start the actual webinar. So if you are here, go ahead and pop your name, say hello from wherever you are in the chat section. Make sure that your chat is set to all participants or all panelists and attendees. We don't want you commenting to absolutely no one or just yourself. If you do have questions throughout the webinar, do not put them in the Q&A. I won't be checking that, so make sure to just pop your questions over. Hi, Genesis. Make sure to just pop your questions over in the chat section, and I will answer those at the end. The webinar should take like 30 to 40 minutes, and then I would like to have conversation at the end, questions, tactics to use on Instagram for selling, and things like that. Hi, Candace. Hi, Eliza. Hi, Alex. So keep saying hello from wherever you are as people hop on. We did have over 100 people register for this, but I don't expect all those people to show up. This will be recorded. I want to make the point that I teach fast, I talk fast. So make sure that you are taking notes on pen and paper or on your phone. I am going to give you a lot of actionable steps, like things that you can do today on Instagram to upsales and to become more knowable, likable, trustable so that people are going to purchase from you. So just making that note, if you don't have a pen and paper, grab one. I am sure that we will be able to get this to you as well, the actual PDF, as well as the recording. So don't freak out if you are missing something, but do take notes and know that this is going to be a very actionable webinar. So without further ado, I want to share my screen with you guys, and we will get started. So you should be able to see the actual presentation and then also me in like a little bubble in the corner. So this webinar is how to sell in your Instagram stories, and it is with or without the swipe up feature. This is going to apply to anyone who is trying to sell something on Instagram. I am Annie Miller of Annie Miller Concepts. That is my company, and I am also a Frey Skincare ambassador. So just to go into what we're going to cover, give you a little heads up. I'm going to open my chat here as well because I can't see the chat. Hello, Courtney. Again, if I see more people hopping on, if you're hopping on, say hello, tell us where you're from over in the chat section, and I'm going to get back to the presentation. So we're going to start with the basics of sales. This is going to be for anyone who sells anything, anywhere, okay? And that is your know, like, and trust, or your KLT. Then I'm going to go into how you can actually build your know, like, and trust before pitching to someone, before actually trying to sell someone on something. I'm going to cover how often you should be mentioning Frey, whether you are selling or not, how often you should be mentioning them in your stories or posts. Hi, Alex. Hi, Wendy. I'm going to go into how authenticity plus authority equals confident sales for your customers. If we can combine those two things, authenticity plus our authority with whatever we're trying to sell, that is going to make our customers feel very confident in giving someone their money, which is how we want our customers to feel. I'm going to go into encouraging reviews to be sent to you and having conversations in your DMs and how to then use those to increase your sales on Instagram. And then, like I said, sharing that social proof from your DMs in your stories. Lastly, we're going to go over call to actions. It's a really short sentence or a really short section, just teaching you guys how you are going to use a call to action. So telling them to swipe up or go to the link in your bio, how you're going to use those and when you're going to use those in your Instagram story, depending on if you have the swipe up feature or you don't. So just for a little background, my name is Annie Miller. I am a Frey ambassador and the CEO of Annie Miller Concepts. That is my company online. I am a certified strength and conditioning coach. On the exercise side, I have my bachelor's in exercise and sports science. I am an entrepreneur. I am the host of the Fits Pro podcast. I am also a business mentor, and I have been a very, very, very proud ambassador of Frey Skincare from February 2008 up until now. I just have to say that Frey is I've worked with a lot of companies over the years in an affiliate manner, and Frey is by far the best of the best when it comes to helping their ambassadors sell their product. I tell this to my ambassador manager all the time when I get the monthly emails and the magazine. I just tell her, like, you guys make it so easy for me to sell your product. And I just thank them because I've had other experiences with other companies that it hasn't been that easy and it's not that helpful. And it is a lot more on me to sell that product. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Frey. If you've never worked with another company before, know that Frey is amazing. And hopefully this webinar gives you even more help to make more money for them and for yourself on Instagram. So why should you be in your stories? Why you need to make showing up in your Instagram stories a top priority is because that's where people are, right? People spend 75% of their time on Instagram in their stories. And this is where you can expedite your knowability, your likability, and your trust with your customers, which makes those cold leads into warm leads a lot faster, and people are going to purchase from you the more often that they see you in their stories, okay? So before you sell, this is one of my favorite analogies. I teach it to my business clients. It's kind of aggressive and funny, but it will stick with you forever. So I say before you sell, don't be a stranger, be a regular. So before you sell, if you just come up to Instagram and you say, bye Frey, I love it. And that's all you say, right? You haven't given them any other information. You haven't built a rapport with them. That is like French kissing a stranger in the street. Just picking a human and you start going at it on their face, right? They are going to be confused. They're going to be defensive, and they likely aren't going to want that to happen again. That is the same thing when you come to Instagram and you just show up and start selling something to them. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want you to be French kissing a stranger in the street. You need to shake their hand first, introduce yourself, take them on a few coffee dates before you just up and start kissing them in the street. Let me know if that makes sense for you. The point of that is that before you sell, you need to have it intertwined with some kind of value, something that builds trust for that customer. Thank you. Estelle? I don't know if I know how to say that, if I said your name right. So it is a really simple analogy. It's really easy to remember. Don't French kiss strangers in the street. You need to build a relationship before you start just selling something to them. So I say a sales pitch should be intertwined with free value related to the offer. And the more that you show up, going back to stories, the more you show up in your stories as yourself and with that product, not trying to sell them, that's going to build knowability, likability, and trust with your potential customers. So basics of sales, like I said, know, like, and trust. People have to know, like, and trust you and Frey or whatever product you're selling before they're going to invest in their sweaty skin. So we're going to go into that. You need to know that if know, like, or trust are missing, there's not going to be a sale, right? If someone doesn't feel like they know you or they aren't sure if they like you, they're not going to trust you. And we have to have trust to have a sale. Okay, so if one of those is missing, you aren't going to get the sale, which is why it's important for you to make sure that you are building all three of these in order to have sales on Instagram or sales in any area of life. So how you build each of those. This is just kind of a synopsis of what each one of these is, and then I will dive into the specifics of each. Your knowability is just your uniqueness, right? What makes you knowable? What makes people think of you? What makes you rememberable? These don't have to be big things, right? People know me for my bun, and we'll go into that. But this is, your knowability is just that. What makes you knowable? Your likability is obviously, are you likable? Do people feel like they relate to you? That's very important when it comes to selling, because people buy because of human emotion. They need to like you. They need to relate to you. I say here, people don't like mysterious, okay, especially when they're handing their money over for something. They want the facts. They want to know that they're giving their money to something and they are going to get what they paid for in return. So it is important that they feel like they like you and they like Frey as a company before they're going to buy anything. Trust, obviously this is the most important. Your vulnerability has power. When I say vulnerability, I am not talking about putting your deepest, darkest secrets on a platter for everyone on Instagram who you don't even know, okay? Maybe that's your business. Maybe that's what you do. That's fine. I'm talking about vulnerability from sales, and coming to sales from the standpoint of a servant and customer-centered sales, which is basically coming to help the customer figure out if they want to purchase, what is the best purchase for them, versus coming to sell them, right? Customer-centered sales is coming in a place of sharing your real experience and how it could possibly help them if they want it to. You are coming to help them, not to sell them. That is what customer-centered sales is, and that's the vulnerability that I'm talking about. So diving into each of these, your knowables. This is something that I teach in an actual Instagram course that I have. I don't love the word knowables, but I don't have another word for it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about though. So your knowables are what people see or hear and they think of you, right? When I think of my best friend page, if I see palm trees, if I see pizza, rainbows, hot pink nails, I think of my best friend page, right? Those are her knowables. Those are physical things that I see that put her in the forefront of my mind. Okay, so everybody has these. They don't have to be physical. They shouldn't be something that you have to like think about really hard. You can even pull your Instagram audience and say, hey, what do you think of when you think of me, right? What would remind you of me? And you'll start to see trends that your entire audience sees in you, or things that remind you of them. Like for me, my sister, when I see plants, she has so many plants in her house. She's always posting about them on Instagram. They're always in her story. That would be a knowable of hers, is plants. People see plants and they think of my sister Kirsten, okay? So my examples for myself, this has changed obviously over the years. I've been on Instagram for a long time. Thick headbands, as you can see in this picture. Fake eyelashes, I have them on now. I love fake lashes. And I share that with my audience. I share the type of lashes that I wear. I share how I put them on, right? It has nothing to do with fitness. It's just me sharing a part of me with my audience that builds knowability, likability, and trust with them. I love dinosaurs. I get people DMing me things about dinosaurs all the time. Again, nothing to do with my expertise. Everything to do with my humanness. We have to have humanness in sales. A latte, you will see an example in the next slide. When my husband and I were traveling the world for a year, I would post pictures of my latte, and it was just an organic thing that I did. Every morning I would get a latte and I'd post a picture of it in my stories, and then we came up with this hashtag latte of the day. It was a play on Lord of the Rings, so LOTD was latte of the day versus LOTR for Lord of the Rings. Now people all the time tagging me in their stories with their hashtag latte of the day. When people see lattes, when they order a latte, who do they think of? Me. If you are in any line of sales, you want to be on people's mind as often as you possibly can. Okay, so that's what your knowables do. And I did put Glow Me Frey because that is something I think people associate me with now. I'll make the point. Your knowables are not going to like directly make sales for you, right? But they add that humanness to you, that knowability. It makes people feel like if they sat down and had a cup of coffee with you, they would have something to talk about, right? They would feel like they know you to some extent, which is how it should be. I say these are icing on the cake. They build a general trust with you and your brand so that when you do pitch a sale, that knowability is going to make them feel like they trust you more. You're more of a friend to them, and they're much more likely to make that purchase, okay? And you can come up with your own knowabilities. Again, that shouldn't be difficult. It's just something to play on, okay? So make a point to put those things in your Instagram story if you don't already. Latte of the day, here's some examples from my actual story. So why knowabilities equal sales is because, like I said, knowability means that you are relatable. People feel like they know you, and that means that they trust you more. Latte of the day, there's my hashtag latte of the day, posting a picture that was in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I did a IGTV on fake lashes. Again, nothing to do with my business. It's just something that my audience knows me for. So I played up on that. Oh, you guys know that I wear fake lashes. Would you like a tutorial? Yes, great. I'm going to just video myself putting these on and then post it in my IG story. That is also serving my audience outside of a sale, right? We have to serve our audience. We have to give before we try and make a sale. And then you are going to make far more sales, I promise. And then this was just reinforcing the truth. So it's also okay to just verbalize to your audience, hey, you guys, please know that I don't share anything with you that I do not actually love myself. right? I am not here to be an affiliate marketer and just sell anything that comes my way. I only ask you guys to purchase things or share things with you that I actually use myself, that I love, that I have tried. It's okay to verbalize that with your audience. That builds trust as well. Okay, so just know that it's okay to strictly verbalize this, and you don't have to like play a game around it. Your likability, how do people relate to you? You have to be likable. I say that people buy from people, and the basis of that is that people buy because of human emotions. They buy because they feel safe somewhere, right? Their money is going to be well spent. They buy because they feel informed. They buy because they feel understood by a company. They buy because they think a problem of theirs is going to be solved. So we have to make sure that that is happening. And they buy because of those emotional connections to something. Buying is an emotional thing. So I say, like, be yourself. If you are sarcastic, be sarcastic. I'm sorry, the light keeps changing so aggressively from my window, by the way. Sorry about that. If you're sarcastic, be sarcastic. If you're intense, be intense. I am not a bubbly person. I'm never going to be the bubbly, go lucky, smiley girl. That's just not how I was created, right? It would feel weird for me to be that, and it would feel weird to my audience if I tried to be that. So if you're super sweet, be super sweet. When I met Yara on the Morocco trip with Frey, she is like the sweetest soul you will ever meet. And she is just, I love her because she's completely herself, and you can feel that, and it's authentic. I would buy anything Yara told me to buy, right? Because I trust her, because I feel that she is being authentic 100% of the time. So authenticity is attractive. Authenticity also builds trust. The more that you can be yourself and embrace yourself and play up on things you know about yourself, the more your audience is going to like you and appreciate you and take you seriously when you go to pitch them on something. Okay, so I can't teach you how to be more you, right? Only you can do that. But just know that it is important that you are not trying to be someone that you're not, or you're not trying to sell Frey in the way that you think Frey wants you to sell Frey. Like, sell Frey like you. How do you use Frey? What do you think about it? Share those things with your people, which is what we will get into in the next slide after this. So story examples of this, I just said share your daily Frey with no agenda, right? You're not trying to sell them in these. These are times where you're just simply sharing. Here, you can see I shared step 1, Revive Me Cleanser. Step 2, Revive Me Serum. That should have been Purify Me Cleanser. Step 2, Revive Me Serum. Let dry for about 2 minutes, and then I went into other things that I use. I think I put Glow Me on after that, so I let my serum sit for a little bit. Anyway, these are sharing. I didn't put a code. I didn't tell them to swipe up. This is just inviting your audience into how you use Frey on the daily. You're already doing these things. You're just opening the window so that your people can see how you use Frey, right? With no agenda. That is very important. We will get into that with frequency and how often you should be sharing. There are times you need to share Frey without telling people to purchase it. And then here, Frey in action. This was just me sharing Glow Me when I was super, super sweaty in Bali, and just showing my audience what it looked like on my face, my experience with it. No call to action, none of that. All of these things make me more likable because they make my audience realize that I'm not always trying to sell them on this, that I would be using this even if I wasn't making money off of it. And that's important for your audience to know. So this is just an example of the whole being yourself thing and how powerful it can be. So this was a screenshot that I took from my DMs. This was the same day. So if I go back to the other slide, this right here was sharing that I was going to do a workout. And then this was post-workout, as you can see. And I was sharing my experience with Glow Me, what it was like in my own. I'm sure I was being completely ridiculous or something. And I received this DM. You are one of my favorite people. Just thought you should know. I feel like there is this standard in the fitness industry to be perfect and flawless, and you have slaughtered that by being perfectly you. I've really struggled, or I've been really struggling with that, and I super look up to you for your attitude, right? Nothing having to do with Frey. This was just me because of my delivery and being myself, but I guarantee that if that girl is interested in Frey, she's purchasing it because she trusts me as a human, right? That's why it's so important to build that know, like, and trust with your audience on a daily basis. Your trustworthiness, friends buy from friends. I actually have a story for this. I'm sure all of you can relate to it. If you can, tell me in the comments in the chat. I say friends buy from friends. And this goes into social proof, right? If your friend tells you that she loves a pair of jeans, you're going to go buy that pair of jeans without doing a lot of research, okay? Versus if nobody told you anything about the jeans and you're trying to figure it out for yourself. So customer-centered sales is removing the roadblocks for your customers. Think about it. When someone wants to purchase something, there's all these roadblocks in their way that have to be removed before they actually say, yes, this is worth my hard-earned money. So for me, I don't think I have my ponyo with me, but if you don't know, ponyos are like this really thick rubber band thing that you put around your hair, and it makes your pony really voluminous, right? So I got targeted on Instagram. I was really interested in it, but I went to their website and I was like, this looks like something that would be shipped from China and get here like a month late and then not actually be what I purchased. So I didn't purchase, right? There was a barrier there for me. I didn't trust the site. It didn't make me feel good about the purchase, so I didn't purchase. Well, a week later, I see a girl on Instagram wearing it that I'm very close with on Instagram. And I was like, girl, what's in your hair? And she said, it's a ponyo. I absolutely love it. And then she went off about how amazing they were. And immediately I went and purchased two. Okay, so that is the power of trust. I didn't trust their website. Something was off-putting to me, and I was like, this is not going to be a good place to spend my money. Then my friend says it's amazing, and without question, I go and purchase it, right? I am sure that you have experienced that in some way, shape, or form, and that is the power of social proof, okay, of reviews, of people that you trust, your friends saying to purchase something. If your friend says, hey, go get this, it's amazing, typically without question, you just go get it, right? Because your friend has your best interest in mind. That is where we want to come to sales from. We have our customers' best interest in mind when we are coming to sell them on something, right? So that's why I say friends buy from friends. Think about that the next time that you go to sell Frey. What would you want to know? What barriers need to be removed? Maybe it's someone who is of African American descent. They have really dark skin. Maybe they're not brave enough to ask if Glow Me is going to be okay for their skin or not, if it's going to make them sit weird, like if the shade is going to show up okay. Maybe it's somebody who's really pale, and they're afraid that Glow Me is going to give them like orange face. Think about those things that you would want to know about a product before you go to talk about Frey. You want to remove those things. Maybe they're scared to pay that much. Maybe they just don't know where to start. Frey has a lot of products now. You need to make clear to your customers what each product is for, what they might use it for, who it's best for. That's removing all of those roadblocks for all of your potential customers, okay? And then, like I said, sharing your real experiences is very powerful. Share the products that you love and why. I'm going to give examples of how I've done this in my stories. How you apply it is a great way to do it. Maybe people don't know, they're scared that they're going to spend all this money and then not actually know how to use it. Your tutorials are what that is for. Remove those roadblocks so that people feel good about giving Frey their money and using your code, of course. Again, it's going to be harder to build know, like, and trust if you're inconsistent. Think of relationships with people that you see often, right? You're going to build a relationship, if you're intentional, a lot quicker than someone you see once a month. So make sure that you are consistent with getting in your stories, and then I will also go over how frequently you need to be mentioning Frey. Frequency, how often you need to mention Frey. Remember, we can't be French kissing people in the streets, okay? You can't be just trying to sell Frey without ever mentioning it in your stories. You might make a few sales, but you will make far more sales if you mention Frey throughout the month. So these are 3 ways. This is a monthly Frey strategy. Just once for each of these per month. So that's mentioning Frey 3 times. 1, your face and Frey. People like faces. They like to see people, okay? This could be you putting on your detox mask and just holding the detox with the Frey facing the camera. Take a picture, make a little blurb about how often you use it, how you apply it, how long you leave it on for, right? It could be the 1, 2, 3 set, whatever. Just take a picture of a Frey product and your beautiful face and then make a little blurb. No swipe up, no go to the link in my bio, no you can save money with this code. You're just sharing Frey, how you literally use Frey in your life. You're being honest. You're being authentic. This isn't a freaking photo shoot, okay? You literally are just sitting in the bath and you put on your mask. Great. Snap a pic, share it with your people, okay? A picture walkthrough. So taking people through this is my morning routine. Take a picture of revive me and then purify me and then protect me, and give them that step 1, step 2, step 3, or your nighttime routine, you know, add recover me in on that. And then do not ask them to spend money. Just welcome them into your Frey life, how you use Frey on the daily, okay? The last one is sales. So you're mentioning Frey twice a month without telling them to buy anything. You're just putting Frey in the forefront of their mind without telling them, please buy this, use my code, spend money. Then on the sales, I want these to be longer, okay? This is what I think has done best for me. I don't know, maybe it's done best for you too. These are longer tutorials. So I'm either teaching them how to use Glow Me, how it's replaced my foundation. I'm taking them through my morning routine, my night routine, how I put on the Detox Me mask, how I use the body line, whatever it is. But these are longer strings of posts, including a video of you speaking to the camera, not just a time lapse, walking them through the experience, educating them on the product, and being authentic with the way that you actually use that product. I will show you 2 examples of actual story strings of mine that have been screenshotted to help you with this. And then I want to make the point that I save reviews and or DM conversations that I've had for this, and you will see why. So authenticity and authority create confident sales. When you show up 100% as yourself and share your experience, your personal experience, your authenticity plus the authority, which comes through that experience, equals trust and confident sales for your customer, right? We want our customer to feel like they are confidently giving their credit card over to Frey because they are so confident that Frey is going to do whatever they said or whatever I said it is going to do for them. It is a purchase that feels good. We want that for our customers. So here's those examples I was talking about. The first one I'm going to go over, I hope you can see my mouse, is this string right here outlined in the navy blue. As you can see, I always have a bun on top of my head. Building trust through that authenticity and authority. The authenticity is your real experience. So this was me, and I don't know if you guys can read those. I hope you can. The actual words that I had, the text that I had in my stories. It's also very important that you use text in your stories. People are not listening to you. Okay, the majority of people do not have their sound on. You need to be adding text to your stories if you're not all of the time, outside of Frey as well. So I was basically telling these people, if you are a noob, but you're not sure, start with the 1, 2, 3 set. I was letting them know that this is a safe purchase. You will feel a difference in your skin. Your skin will be softer. It will feel healthier. The products are very light. It will make you fall in love with Frey. And then you can venture into, Glow Me and Detox Me and the other products that they have. So very low-key, not pressing them to purchase all of the things, not overwhelming them. And then I went into, if you do love the 1, 2, 3 set, here's the other products. And I just said how I use each of them, right? Me specifically, like I said, Glow Me, my day-to-day foundation. It has completely replaced my foundation. It's what I'm wearing right now with some blush. That's my personal experience. That's enticing to people. Oh, I don't have to wear heavy makeup on my face anymore. I can just wear Glow Me. So share your real story. That is your authenticity. Obviously, then when they see my face, that's my authority, is that I'm wearing it here. Then I went into Detox Me. I didn't just say, Detox Me, it smells good and it's a pretty light blue, right? Who's buying a mask because it's light blue and smells pretty? Maybe someone, but I shared that when I travel, which my husband and I were traveling the world for a year, that is really hard on your skin, okay? And when I travel, for whatever reason, my skin gets really dry and I get these itty bitty little tiny zits, kind of similar to sweat zits, and that might be super gross, but that's real, and that's what I use the detoxing mask for, so that is what I shared with my audience in this story, right? That is not me trying to sell them on something. That's my authentic experience with Frey. It is very important that you're sharing your real experience with your people. They're going to feel that or not feel that. And then I went into the night mask or the night serum and obviously talked about that, the fact that I use it at night. When I wake up in the morning, I don't want to wash my face because my skin is so soft. I don't want to ruin it. That is what I said to my audience because that is my real experience. Yes, you just figured out the text on the stories thing. It's so important. I get DMs all the time from people that are like, thank you for adding text. I never know what people are saying. So I go through all of that before I even mention that there is a sale, that I want them to spend their money. that I have a code they can use that they should swipe up, right? And we will go into, when we go over call to action, I will tell you where to put those, what part of your story to start entering those into. So go through all of that, each product, break it down, share that they are having a sale. That's the lineup, currently having a 25% off sale for 48 hours. I only say that on one story. Okay, they have that option to swipe up, and then I share social proof. This is important, you guys. My formula for sales is value, sale, social proof. Write that down. Remember it. Value, sale, social proof, okay? Provide the value with no call to actions. Then say, oh, hey, by the way, if you're interested in this, swipe up, use my code, real nonchalant-like. Then add social proof. Someone responded to this and said, I love Frey. I buy from them all the time using your code. Why do we use the social proof? We use the social proof because that person is not trying to sell anyone, right? People know that I make money off of this. That person does not get a kickback. Okay, so that builds trust with the people who are on the fence and like, oh gosh, should I do this? That social proof makes them feel safe. Oh, okay, other people use her code, other people get the product, and it works for them. They're not trying to sell me. So that means that it's safer for me to purchase this product. Okay, so that is the power of social proof. The next example, similar, I use a different kind of social proof, but we'll get to that. This was taking people through how I use GlowMe. And how it's replaced my foundation, because I typically, if I were to sweat and wear my old foundation, and it was like a natural foundation, I get zits. If I wear foundation and sleep in it, or wear foundation and sweat, I will 100% wake up with a zit. It is going to happen. With GlowMe, I don't suggest obviously sleeping in makeup, but I have fallen asleep with my GlowMe on, and it is completely fine for my face. I can sweat in it multiple times a day, and I do not break out, right? And I have very sensitive skin. So that is the experience I was sharing through this, and I was actually putting it on. So I told them just some appreciation for not breaking out. That's what I started the story with. Just giving appreciation to Frey for creating this product that allows me to wear it, sweat, sleep, do anything, go in water, get out of water, let it dry, no zits. I can count on breaking out if I sweat while wearing face makeup. 'Tis why I love GlowMe, wear it every day, sweat like a freaking pig multiple times per day, no breakouts. I tell them I start with 1, 2, 3 set. So I had already put that on. Then I show them how I apply GlowMe. You'll notice here that I use a makeup brush. So I talked about, hey, when I put on GlowMe with my hands, I find that it gets a little splotchy. And for me, it goes on a lot smoother with a makeup brush. You do you. I'm just sharing authentically, honestly, how I use it. I don't know if Frey wants me to say that it goes on blotchy for me, but that's the truth, right? I'm not gonna lie to my customers. So make sure that you are always being honest with your customers and sharing exactly how you use Frey. It's helpful for them. And then I tell them again, wait 10 to 20 minutes, because that's been my experience. When I put on GlowMe, I don't see anything immediately, and that was a little discouraging the first time I used it. And then I walked into the bathroom a few minutes later and I was like, oh, who's this? What? My face looks so good, right? So I shared that experience with my people. Like, don't be discouraged if you put it on and you're like, where's the glow? Let it sit for a few minutes and you will look like a freaking goddess, okay? I told that to my people. Then I shared that, hey, you can swipe up, they're having a sale right now. It was a GlowMe promo, something like that going on. That is when I shared, I got a DM response from that with someone saying like, hey, how much do you actually love Frey, and how much of this is just like, you're just selling it because you make money? And I was like, okay, you must be new here, because I don't sell things that I don't actually love. So I got in my stories and I just said, hey, I received this DM. It must be a new human because they think I might be selling Frey just to make money. And I just reiterated my honesty to my people and said, hey, please know, I don't ever mention anything to you guys. I take it very seriously that you decided to follow me, that you trust me, and I take that seriously. I'm never going to share something with you just to make money, ever. So just count on that. Okay, let's just make that clear. And then obviously told them, here's my code. If you want to swipe up, you can get an amazing product that can replace your foundation. After that, another type of social proof that you can share is your email. You guys, if you are getting conversions, if people are purchasing, screenshot your email, and you can even search in your email Frey so that it's all lined up, right? If you're getting emails in between and stuff like that, take a screenshot. And then I just said, thanks, Graham fam, y'all about to be glowing, because it was a Glow Me promotion. And again, that just makes people feel safe. Like, oh, other people are making this purchase. Other people are choosing to trust this. Other people are investing in this product. It's safe for me to do that, right? It's safer and safer for me to do that. So that is the power of social proof. If you haven't tried doing that yet, do it. It is very powerful. It will get people to make purchases. So again, over on the left was the explanation of that, but basically just shared my appreciation for Glow Me, walked them through my authentic process of how I use it, mentioned the sale, and then I shared those conversions in the email to then push people even more to make that purchase of Glow Me, which was the promo at the time. So the social proof is direct messages for us, DMs in Instagram, are very powerful reviews. They're very powerful content for social proof. What is the first thing people look at when they're unsure about making an investment or a purchase? They look at reviews. They ask if anyone has used it. They ask their friends. They read reviews on whatever site they're on. Remember that people buy from people. They buy because of that emotional connection, and friends buy from friends. That is, that people buy from people they trust. So we've got to get that emotional connection, that relatability, and then also that trust. So here are 4 examples of DM conversations that have taken place very authentically, not because I initiated anything with these people. And I also want to make the point that I could have not responded to all of these. I could have just double tapped, liked the message, thanks for stopping by, right? It is important that you are living in your DMs. If you are not serious about Instagram, get up in your DMs. That is where relationships are made. That is where sales are made, okay? So the first one here, that was the response. You can see I showed you this story string. That was in Bali, where I took them through each product at the time. They just responded with this face here. And I literally was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. So I just said, you like it? And they said, I want to try the glow stuff. You are glowing for sure. So then I sent her a photo of my face because I had just put it on. She ended up purchasing Glow Me. Holler, okay? So then I shared that in my story, right? That is a great way to then say, hi, I am here for you. I'm on your team. It's safe to purchase this product. Next, I actually commented on Paige. This is one of my really good friends. She's my photographer. Her face was like so warm and glowy, and I DM'd her in response to her story and said, but that warm makeup though, yes. And she responded, literally only Frey Glow Me as my foundation. So that was me like, see, it's not just me, like this is real life. It's replacing people's foundations. That is a non-solicited, unsolicited testimony to Frey, right? By just having conversations in my DMs. So of course I shared that. I said, you ladies, do you understand? It's not just me. So if you're not having conversations in your DMs, I definitely encourage you to do that. This next one was in response to, I just said, if you've ever bought Frey skincare using my code, thank you. It was just a picture of me and Frey, and I'm very thankful to my people if they use my code. Like that is a source of income for me. And it takes effort from them to use my code. Yes, I'm saving them money, but they could probably just do any of the sales that Frey has or use somebody else's code. It means a lot to me that they choose to use mine. So that was just me, no swipe up, no sale even happening. I was just thanking my community. And I got this response. She said, just had to express my gratitude for making me aware of this brand. I have super oily skin, and these have helped improve my skin texture and oil production more than any other brand I have ever tried, and I have tried everything. Unsolicited testimony and review for Frey. Yes, so Esther, I do ask permission. I always just pop in and say, hey, do you mind if I share that? They always say yes. They're like, oh my gosh, yes. And typically they're like, you're gonna share me. And I don't share, I like block out who it is as well. So they know that I'm sharing, but the audience doesn't know who it's from. And I do take that very seriously as well. Confidentiality is a thing, and you don't just want to be sharing conversations if people haven't given you permission. That is kind of a value at my business. You might run yours a different way, but I do ask permission real quick. And typically they're like, oh my gosh, yes, please. But they also appreciate that you ask. They probably wouldn't mind if you didn't, as long as you're blurring everything out. But it's, it's just considerate to ask. The last one here is, and again, I just shared that without even with her response, I did not then say like, oh, use my code, it's amazing, swipe up. I just shared it. Just, hey, letting you guys know how valuable Frey can be for you. The last one was I was going to the Morocco trip, and I just shared how excited I was. We were getting close. I have a countdown clock there. Somebody said, whoa, that's amazing, dude. I could have stopped. I could have just liked that, right? I liked it. There's the heart. I didn't have to respond to that at all, but I just said, thank you. I love this company so much. I clearly said Mitch because I have typos. She said, I just bought the overnight recover serum, and dude, I am excited for it because I love their tinted moisturizer and the post-workout mask. So good. They're lucky to have you as an ambassador. So again, unsolicited review, unsolicited social proof that I can then save. I literally have a folder in my, oh my gosh, I have a folder in my photos that I screenshot, and it's just Frey reviews, right, from my DMs. And so I just go into that and upload them after a sale has happened, and I want to use that social proof. So I won't share these right away most of the time. I will screenshot them and save them into my folder, and then use them after I have pitched a sale to give them that sandwich of social proof. So these are just ways, again, I could have not responded to any of these. I could have just liked them or said, thank you, right? But I chose to have these conversations authentically. I'm not trying to get a review. I'm not trying to get a testimony. They just happen because Frey is amazing, right? Like, we all know how good their products are and how amazing of a company they are. So if you're not in your DMs, I encourage you to spend time there. Also, when you share this stuff, that encourages your audience that it's okay to DM you and that you want to have conversations with them, right? That makes your DMs a safe place for people to come and talk to you. And we want to encourage that with our communities. This is the last one. So call to action, swipe up or link in bio, when and how to use call to actions to make your sale. So a call to action is just telling your audience, swipe up, purchase now, use my code. Those are all telling them to do something, and we want to lead our people. Okay, you are there to guide them and to lead them through this experience into a sale. So we have three options here. On a sale with the swipe up link. So if you have swipe up, comment in the chat if you have swipe up or if you don't. So just say yes or no. Yes for you have the swipe up, no for you don't, because I want to make sure. Okay, so mostly no. So if you have the swipe up, real quick, you want to put that towards the end, right? You can put your link on every single one, but don't say swipe up or use my code until the last stories. We really want to just give value and then tell them to swipe up, but you can put the link on every story for them to swipe up. But it looks like nobody has it. So if you do not have the swipe up, fear not. Put link in bio and your code, I would say, on 75% of your stories, right? When you don't have the swipe up, that is an inconvenience for the audience. We're just being real, right? When somebody has the option to swipe up somewhere else, that is easier than if they have to leave the story, click on your picture, go to your bio, click the link in the bio. In today's world, that is inconvenient, right? It literally takes them 3 whole seconds, but that's an inconvenience. So we want to make it as easy as we can for your customers. And we want to get them primed to leave your story and do that, right? So I would say, if you have a story of 8, it's a tutorial over 8 stories, I would put link in bio and use my code on 6 of those, okay? So also with swipe up, you can do like all the cute little, this girl that tells you to swipe up and the little pointy arrow. If you don't have swipe up, point. If I am in my Instagram story, I am saying, click here, go to the link in my bio. I'm using arrows. I am guiding them to leave my story and go to the link in my bio to actually get them to purchase, okay? I don't know Frey's numbers. I would be interested to see if more purchases are made from posts or stories, but I would imagine and assume that it is from stories, whether you have the swipe up feature or not. So Make sure that you are guiding your people, telling them to click the link in your bio, using arrows, using the features that Instagram gives you to do that. And I would basically have 1 or 2 stories of you introducing them to whatever tutorial you're going to do about Frey, and then put it in your story somewhere on the page that you have a link, and the link is in your bio to save money. And then the day-to-day, like I said, at least twice a month, I suggest mentioning Frey just as you use it in your day. You're just welcoming your audience into something you are already doing. No link. Don't say that you have a code to save money. You can maybe do that on one of them, but at least once a month you should be mentioning Frey as just letting your people know that you use it and you love it, and not telling them, not asking for their money in any way, shape, or form, okay? So to recap, be yourself. No one else can be you. Nobody likes someone who is holding back or trying to be something they're not, okay? Not everybody's gonna like you. That's okay, those aren't your people. Be yourself. That is going to build know, like, and trust, okay? You have to show up outside of sales. You can't be French kissing strangers in the street. You have to shake their hand, take them to coffee, get to know them, make sure they feel like they know you before you pitch a sale, okay? Customer-centered sales, remember you're there to help them, not to sell them. You're removing those roadblocks for them. And that you can choose one roadblock per sales stream, right? So you can choose one focus. You don't have to be like, oh, I've got to check all these boxes. That'll happen over time. As far as tutorials and selling, remember my formula: value, pitch the sale, provide social proof. Encourage people to give you social proof. You want to be in the DMs with them. And if you don't have DMs, you can always screenshot reviews from Frey's website and put those in your stories as well. And then again, always be yourself. Remember that friends buy from friends, people buy from people. You need an emotional connection. They need to feel understood or like a problem is going to be solved for them. And then they need to buy from someone they trust. Think about your audience as your friend. You're just sharing Frey with them as a friend. So that is all I have for you. I want to thank you guys for coming. It's really cool that I got to do this. I hope it was helpful. I know it was a lot, but just pick and choose something that you can implement now, and what is easiest for you to implement. So again, thank you on behalf of Frey Skincare and myself. I do want to answer questions for you guys. It can be about Frey. I'm going to stop the share. Oops. There. Stop share. I'm so happy it was helpful. Yeah, let me know, like, what was your favorite part of this? If you had one, you guys, what was the biggest tip or the biggest thing that you think you are going to implement or use? I'm so happy this was helpful. Let me know what the favorite tip was for you guys. Oh, my Instagram, definitely should have put that on there. Oh, you live and you learn. How many times a month to share Frey? My Instagram, I will type it in the comments, is just at anniemiller.co. Yeah, don't always sell, right? That's why I say customer-centered sales. You don't like it when someone is always trying to sell you, right? Come into sales as if you are the customer. What would you want that experience to be like? The story strategy, awesome. Okay, so we kind of hit a lot of different things. I do want to stay on for another like 10 minutes or so. So if you guys have questions just about Instagram stories, about sales, love the knowables, good. I want to answer those questions for you guys. Okay, so it sounds like not always selling and not always pitching was a huge thing. Yeah, people need to know that Frey is just a part of your life, right? Like, I hope that you don't sell anything to your audience that you wouldn't actually just use, right? And the more often that you're in your stories, people are just going to trust you anyway as well. Not even talking about Frey, but just getting in your stories and talking to them. Bye, Genesis. Thanks for coming. Irina, my manager, Irina. Yes. Irina, I got to meet you in like real life someday. Okay, you guys, if you guys don't have any questions, I will pop off. I am sure that this is recording right now, so I will make sure that this gets into the Facebook group. I don't know if the chat will be in the Facebook group or not, but the video will be. Heather, I'm so glad you thought it was helpful. Courtney, you're welcome. And I will see if Frey is okay with me or them delivering the actual PDF to you guys as well. Okay. Adios, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of Frey. Thank you on behalf of me. You guys are awesome. Thank you for showing up, and I hope that you have an awesome day.